Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another edition of The Fishing Teacher, and thank you very much for carving some time out of your day to spend with me watching the video. Always very grateful for that. And guys, today we're going to be talking about the difference between using a green pumpkin plastic worm and a watermelon plastic worm, a watermelon colored plastic worm, because these are the two of the probably the most popular colors of plastic worms, and they have been for many years, but they're situational, and there's some conditions where one will outproduce the other. So I've got my green pumpkin watermelon worm box out here. We're going to sort of go through it. I'm going to tell you some tips and advice. I think it might help you guys catch a few more fish. And also, guys, we're getting close. We're working hard on hitting 10,000 subscribers here to The Fishing Teacher. So if you'd like to help out there, I'd like to invite everybody to subscribe to the channel, help us get to that 10,000 mark, and that'd be much appreciated there. Okay guys, green pumpkins versus watermelons here. Now this is, one of the things about it, if you're colorblind like I am, I'm colorblind to certain colors. So I can differentiate different colors, but I can't tell you exactly what certain colors are, especially like, greens and browns and tans and that type of stuff. So my viewpoint on it is a little bit colored, but I do know the difference between a green pumpkin and a watermelon. So here's a standard green pumpkin plastic worm right here. This is a Zoom trick worm. This is actually a green pumpkin purple flake, which is one of my favorite colors. And here is a watermelon next to it there, the watermelon with some purple flake in it. Now you can see right off the bat, both of these are natural color plastic worms, except the watermelon is a little bit more translucent. It's a little bit more see-through, and the green pumpkin is more of a darker color. Even though they are both natural colors, one is a little bit more darker than others. Now, the thing about this, even though there's a subtle difference, in my opinion, between a watermelon and a green pumpkin, the way it looks in the water, at times it makes a huge difference. Now, first of all, let's talk a little bit about the flake that goes in it. Most of the time in, green pumpkins or watermelons, you've got some type of either purple flake, red flake, or maybe black flake with it. I have found, in my own personal opinion, I like the green pumpkins and watermelons that have some purple or red flake in it. I can't really tell the difference between the number of bites I get on red versus purple flake, but I do prefer, instead of just a straight green pumpkin worm, I do prefer some type of flake, either purple or red in it. These are Zoom trick worms that I'm showing you guys here. And also in the video description here, I'll put in some of my favorite styles of plastic worms if you guys want to check that out and grab you some through that link there. So most of the time I'm using a green pumpkin purple or green pumpkin red or watermelon red or watermelon with purple flake in it. Now the conditions that you want to try, each one are specific to a couple different variables in there, and those variables are all about the water visibility and the sunlight or the light penetration. You guys hear me talk about that a lot on the channel here, because those are two of the most important aspects. When you're talking about choosing lure selections, the light intensity and the water clarity, two most important things by far out there, especially when you're talking about subtle differences between a green pumpkin and a watermelon. Now, the time that I use a green pumpkin, first of all, green pumpkin, guys, it'll work in any water visibility that's really over about 2 foot. If you got visibility of under 2 foot, that's when I usually go to a darker worm like a June bug or a black. But green pumpkin works in any water clarity over 2 feet, from 2 foot up to 50 feet clarity with that. And the watermelon, pretty much the same thing. Watermelon will work, in a pretty similar water clarity ranges as green pumpkin. But the exception to that is the fact that your light intensity combined with that. One of the things that you'll find out about that, let's say, for example, you're going fishing and you have water visibility of 4 feet where you're fishing at. Green pumpkin and watermelon will both work in that 4 foot of clarity. But if you have a lower light level day, say for example, it's cloudy, or maybe you have like 80% cloud coverage during the day, or maybe it's early in the morning or late in the evening, or if it's a little bit windy, you're gonna find that the green pumpkin works a little bit better, simply because it silhouettes a little bit better on those low light conditions. I think the bass can see it a little bit better from a distance. So anytime that I'm fishing a cloudy condition or some type of rainy condition like that, even if the water is really clear, I'm using some type of green pumpkin. Now, if I get in those same situations, clear water, and I've got bright sky, say I've got 20%, cloud coverage, or it's completely sunny out, no clouds in the sky whatsoever, up in the day when the sun's bright. That's when I go to the watermelon. It's a little bit more translucent, it's a little bit more subtle. I seem like I get more bites on it. Now, another thing that I do with these are the two colors that I do dye the most, with chartreuse and orange color on it. And the thing that you'll notice about it is when you put chartreuse dye on a watermelon worm, it's brighter than on a green pumpkin worm. The green pumpkin worm, it sort of turns like a baby poop type green color. It doesn't really turn like a bright chartreuse, but it will turn a bright chartreuse on a watermelon out there. So sometimes you can take the watermelon worm under those lower light conditions and dip the tail chartreuse in it, and that chartreuse really stands out and glows quite a bit with it. But anyway, guys, here's my green pumpkin watermelon box right here. It's one of my favorite ones, you know, whether I'm wacky rigging it or fishing on a shaky head or Texas rig, I use this worm a lot. I mean, this Zoom trick worm in green pumpkin or watermelon is one of my biggest, most consistent fish catchers all year long. If I could just have one bait, if you guys told me, Randy, you get one bait and that's all you can fish all year long to catch the most bass on, it would be probably a green pumpkin or a watermelon trick worm on a shaky head. That's gonna get you a lot of bites with that. So pretty much, guys, I've never seen a situation where when they're biting a green pumpkin, they just wouldn't touch a watermelon. They usually bite both at the same time, but based upon, again, your light level and your water clarity, usually one has a little bit of an advantage over the other just based upon the changes that I talked about there. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys somewhere down the line and catch a few more fish, and we'll check in later. See y'all.